Hey, welcome back to Socialette. This is episode 254. Now, back in January, I was at an event in LA where James Wedmore was one of the speakers. Now, I have been fangirling James for a little while now, and one of the things that he said at this event was that to be successful, you've got to do what nobody else is willing to do. And I thought about this. I thought long and hard. I thought, what can I do in my business that nobody else or that very few people are willing to do? And it hit me. I've been doing a lot of these things already, and they've ended up being the things that have worked best for my own business growth. So this episode, I'm sharing a few things that very few people are willing to do, but that have had the biggest impact on my business. Now, hopefully these will spark some ideas for you, but I do encourage you to take the time and just reflect on the question, what can I do that nobody else is willing to do? Now, the first one that I've done is getting up and speaking on stage. Now, believe me, this was not easy. And if it weren't for my good friend Ronsley Vaz telling me 2 years ago that he was going to put me up on stage and make me speak at his conference, We Are Podcast, I probably would never have made it onto a stage. These days, I love it. Like, I love public speaking. I think it's also a side effect of podcasting, though. Like, you get a lot better at speaking. You become a lot more confident in front of a microphone. You learn how to modulate your voice a little bit better, all of that kind of stuff. But honestly, getting up and speaking has been a big game changer for my business. The second one that I've done that has been a big game changer is launching my podcast. Now, I don't have to tell you how much of an impact launching a podcast has had on my business because right now you're listening to my podcast. So somehow it reached you, right? Yes, I know more and more people are launching podcasts, but that's totally okay because a lot of people give up pretty quickly once they realize that podcasting is a long game. It's not a quick thing, right? It has taken, like, I'm almost 300 episodes into my podcast, and it's been the consistently showing up for my audience 3 times a week for the last 2 years that nobody else is willing to do. Like, nobody else was willing to publish 3 episodes a week. So that helped me to stand out with my podcast. Now, if you're thinking of launching a podcast of your own and you want to make sure that your podcast stands out from everyone else out there, yes, even if you're in a super competitive space like I am, I have a free podcasting masterclass. It's called Your First 1,000 Listeners, How to Launch Your Podcast Without the Overwhelm. You can register for that at stephtaylor.co/masterclass. Okay, the third thing that I've done that very few people are willing to do was traveling overseas for conferences. Now, I first did this last year when I traveled to Orlando for Podfest, and it took like 37 hours of travel because I flew the most roundabout way to get there so that I could save money. Like, I think I flew 37 hours to save like $200, which in hindsight was a bit silly, but I could have got there in 27 hours if I just spent the extra $200, but whatever. In hindsight, it was worth it. It was so worth it just to be in the same room as other podcasters, other people in the same space, same frame of mind, right? Like, I left Podfest with a fire under my bum and I made some new friends. I reconnected with some old ones. Like, it was awesome. The thing is, right, here in Australia, we don't have conferences on the same scale that they have in the US. Like, Podfest, I think, had about 300 people, and to them, on US standards, that is a small conference, right? Like, a 300 people conference in Australia, that is huge by our standards. So, like, to learn the things that nobody else in your industry knows or is teaching, somehow, like, sometimes you just have to travel elsewhere and find out how other people are doing it elsewhere in the world. The fourth thing that I did that few people are willing to do was niching down. Like, ever since I fully niched into launch marketing and launch strategy, I've noticed a massive uptick in people inquiring to work with me, right? And they're the right kinds of people too. They're not just people who are looking for the cheapest marketer out there. Here's the thing. Most people aren't willing to niche down. Like, niching is scary. I know. Like, there's always that fear that you'll niche down and that you'll lose out on potential customers. You won't have enough potential customers, right? But as they say, the riches are in the niches. I always get like a bit funny when I say niche because I know a lot of my audience doesn't really know the word niche. They think of it as niching, but no, it's niche, guys. Anyway, the fifth thing that I've been doing that nobody else has really done is building my community in person. Now, if someone reaches out to me and asks me for a recommendation for, like, let's say a business coach or a social media manager, I will 9 times out of 10 refer them to somebody that I've met in person over somebody that I haven't met in person, right? Because building a genuine network of business friends, not just people who you make small talk with at events that you go to once a month, but like genuinely building a network of friends, that is a game changer, right? These people are the ones that get it. You connect with them on a deeper level. They know what it's like when you feel like crying because your website broke and you don't know how to fix it, or when you've got a painful client that you just can't please no matter what. These people get it. Your business friends are like gold. And for me, like, my business friends are a huge part of the reason why I still live in Brisbane rather than moving to the Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast and being at the beach. Because I, like, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I catch up with my business friends and they keep me sane. I love it. Lastly, number 6, the thing I've done is finding mentors. Now, I've never actually gone searching for a mentor. We've always just kind of met and it's organically become a mentoring kind of situation. But your mentors should be people who challenge you and inspire you and share their expertise with you. They don't have to be like super successful yet, even if they're just a few steps ahead of you, or even if they're in the same place as you, they can still be mentors in in some shape or form, right? They have been where you are and they can help you out on your journey. And like, I know a common thing is like, well, why would anyone want to help me? But you'll actually be surprised that you can add value and perspective to their business as well. Like, it's a two-way street. It's not just them helping you. You help them too. Okay, so there you have it. 6 things that you can do that very few people have done to find success in their business. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Pop on over to stephtaylor.co/roadmap to grab my free ebook, The Complete Roadmap for a Killer Launch. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you're enjoying this show so far, as always, I really do appreciate a quick rating and review in Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Catch you next time.